Now's the time to be part of the team at Team Toyota. Step up to the plate with a winning lineup of new Toyota models like the new 4Runner, Grand Highlander, and coming soon, the all-new 2026 RAV4. Or find something perfect for your game plan and your budget with over 300 certified used Toyotas available. And don't sweat a trip to the IL. Our service and collision centers will have you back in the game in no time. So slide in one of our 3 locations in Princeton, Langhorne, or Glen Mills, or take a swing online at teamtoyota.net. Woo-wee, Sean Kane, do we have a lengthy card and a lot to talk about here on the Phillies Talk podcast presented by Team Toyota. I am Spencer McKercher, joined once again by Sean Kane. We sit down here on Monday night after the Phils eked out a 1-0 win over the New York Mets. What a night at the ballpark. I was over there for the whole game. Atmosphere was there. It felt like a playoff game, had that little chill in the air. Everything was great. And the Phillies now have an 8-game lead over the Mets in the National League East as we sit down here. Happy Tuesday morning to everybody as well. Dude, there's a lot to talk about. And we said we were going to recap maybe game 1, and then obviously we'll talk to you guys after this series wraps up on Thursday. But then everything kind of transpired after Sunday's loss to the Marlins in Miami. Trea Turner exits, and then on Monday afternoon, which that's where we'll start, a whole spew of injuries and roster moves and everything else. So we'll start there. A lot of injury news. I think the big one, Daniel Roberts, 60-day IL.
Yes, let's not lose that.
DR is pretty much done for the season.
Yeah, it does. Unfortunate for him.
Unfortunate for DR. But then obviously the big one as well, as we kind of bury the lead a little bit, Trea Turner to the IL along with Alec Bohm. We'll dive into it, but just due to your initial thoughts, reactions to Trea Turner, who clearly is been the Phillies arguably their best hitter this season, and now they might not see him until October rolls around.
Yeah, probably the postseason if I had to guess. We spent a lot of time talking these last couple of weeks about how he has kind of become their best player all around. The team MVP at this point, maybe wrestling that away from Schwarber. On Sunday when it happened, we were, oh man, like the first thing you think is this happened last year. He was out 6 weeks. We start doing the math. 6 weeks from today takes you pretty much to the NLCS. And then can a guy just hit the ground running at that point? Can they even get to that point without him? So there was a lot of concern on Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, Monday morning, Monday afternoon. Then you finally get word Monday afternoon that they put him on the IL, which I don't think was a surprise. We figured he was going to miss at least a couple games, play it safe, put him on the IL. But the good news was it wasn't as bad. It's not as bad as his hamstring strain last year. Yeah. This year it's the right hamstring. Last year it was the left. Last year was a grade 2. This year is a grade 1. So Rob Thompson expects him back for the playoffs. Doesn't seem like it's going to be a 6-week thing. Could be as simple as a 2 or 3 week thing. But at that point, you're kind of running into the end of the regular season. Play it safe. Hopefully they can get that bye to the NLDS. That's even a bigger deal now.
Correct.
Give Trea another week to kind of get his legs under him, literally and figuratively, and then get ready for the NLDS. So not great, obviously. He was on such a roll. Now you have to start thinking when he does come back, he's going to be a little rusty. And, can he really let it loose with his legs in terms of running the bases, in terms of running out infield singles and just playing defense? So a guy that relies a lot on his legs, a lot of questions, but I just think overall Monday afternoon, good news that he's not going to be out for 6 weeks. It's not a grade 2 like last year. The door would be open for a postseason return, which is important, but still a lot of questions.
A lot of questions, and hopefully we'll get some answers as the season winds down here. He was, it was kind of great. He talked after the game to the media. He was asked, when you come back, is there going to be any strain? Like, he's known for his speed.
Yeah.
And obviously when you have a hamstring strain, your speed and your running ability is tainted a little bit.
Yep.
And he said that, he doesn't see an issue with that once he comes back. He will be the same Trea Turner that we've seen all season long in terms of running the bases and his signature slide and all that. There's a lot of interesting little notes about this injury too. So he missed 11 days for the Nationals in 2017 with a mild right hamstring strain, the same hamstring that he has right now.
Yep.
That's fine. And like you said, the grade 2 and grade 1, I did some research, kind of felt like a doctor. So the grade 1, according to a website, is a mild strain. There's minimal pain and swelling, no significant loss of function, and no microscopic tears in the muscle fibers. Pain in the back of the thigh, which may radiate down the leg. So I'm sure Trea's probably in a little bit of pain. It looked a little scary on Sunday when it happened, and especially you see him go down in the dugout, leave the game, and you're like, oh man, like, and because about this grade 2 hamstring strain that he had in his left hamstring last season, where he missed 44 days. So good news, I think, all around is a good way to look at it. And I thought Rob Thompson's quote too before the game, they lost Schwarber and Harper the same day last season as well, and they kind of kept it moving, and things were moving along. I think it's going to be the same thing. You lose your whole left side of the infield.
Alec Bohm as well.
Correct, which we'll get to that in a second. But I think with all things considered, with the moves that they made, I think just settle in here, get this new group of guys that we're going to see. We're going to see Edmundo Sosa a lot. We're going to see Otto Kemp a lot. Get those guys moving forward a little bit, and hopefully all things kind of come to fruition as the season comes to a close.
Yeah, you just got to hope he hits the ground running, obviously, in the postseason, which is tough because the intensity is ratcheted up. But, he's a guy that's been around the postseason, won a World Series, played in some big postseason games for the Phillies here these last couple of years too. So you hope he's ready to go. But yeah, obviously you got a little time to be cautious if they get that bye like we talked about. So yeah, it's worst case scenario was avoided. But they're going to miss him, man. He's one of the best players in baseball, and he certainly has been this year. And an interesting name atop the lineup to replace him, which I found interesting on Monday as well. I don't know if you want to get to that right now. You want to go to Bohm first, but Harper leading off, I thought was very interesting for a lot of reasons.
Very interesting. Yeah, we'll dive into that in 1 second. I think we'll just to wrap up Trea too. So he's a 6.6 WAR, whether you like that stat or not, whatever. That's your opinion or not. But that's, according to Fangraphs, that's 4th in all of Major League Baseball. So you're losing the 4th best player if you like the stat
in
WAR.
Defense. Yeah, for sure.
So it's wins above replacement. I mean, Trea Turner's won this team games, especially last week in Milwaukee. We talked about that in the last podcast.
Yeah.
He comes through at the right time. And we were saying the confidence level that you see Trea at the plate, it's going to be missed. It's going to be missed.
No
but
doubt.
Now you need these other guys to step up, like Bryce Harper, like Kyle Schwarber, and maybe like Nick Castellanos, which we'll get to this game in a second. Just real quick on Bohm too. So he has a cyst in his left shoulder that will be drained. According to team sources, he'll be treated with an injection, and he should be ready in 10 days. I think this is just kind of, let's get this injection in, let's drain this cyst, and hopefully Alec can come back into form in 10 days from now before the season ends. So that'd be September 18th.
Yeah. So the Phillies called it left shoulder inflammation. I know The Athletic reported about the cyst, having to drain it. And Rob Thompson said this is something that's been bothering him for about a week or so. He said he felt it on occasion when he swung. And then yesterday in Florida, he said he felt it pretty much every swing. So they said, all right, enough. We need to shut this down and knock it out. And he's been struggling. I think in his last 8 games, we did this on the pregame show. He's 3 for 31 or something like that. So 0 for 4 yesterday. Hasn't looked like himself. I'm sure the shoulder's a part of it. But he's banged up. This is his second IL stint since the All-Star break. He came right back off the break, and they put him on the IL for about better part of a month with a rib. Now he's back, and now he's back on with the shoulder. So he's been dealing with some stuff. Obviously, he's an important part of your lineup too. So yeah, not great on the surface to lose the left side of your infield in mid-September, early to mid-September. But Bohm seems like hopefully it's a minimum of 10 days. He's back, and that'll give him a little runway to get some more at-bats that last week of the regular season and kind of get back in a groove. But that was a surprise today when they announced. I think the way it kind of broke today was, the reporters over in the clubhouse said, Otto Kemp's got a locker here, and Donovan Walton had a locker too. So we're like, well, Trea's going on the IL, but who else? Who else are they gonna? And then obviously the Bohm news comes out. So surprising, interesting, but yeah, hopefully Bohm is a minor thing. They just want to be cautious with it and get him right for the postseason. But you're losing two, like you said, that Rob Thompson mentioned. Hey, we lost Harper and Schwarber on the same day last year. We keep going. Obviously, they're without Wheeler. Harper's been on the IL this year, so they've been dealing with it. It's not great that these big names are piling up on the injured list as the season ends, but just got to keep going. And Nola found a way to get it done for him on Monday night, and just got to keep finding ways to win games, get this division wrapped up, get that 2 seed wrapped up and rest up and be ready to go.
Sounds good to me, man. Sounds like a plan. It was because, I think everyone was kind of sitting on pins and needles when this news came out. Like you said, all these tweets start coming out that Otto Kemp and Donnie
Yeah.
Walton.
Right.
Our guy Donovan Walton, who, again, real quick with him, he's going to be basically a reserve. We're talking about Donovan Walton, who they brought up. The Mets actually traded him to the Phillies on July 1st this year for the old cash considerations.
Right.
But in 50 games with Lehigh, he's batting .339, 60 hits, and 177 at-bats. He's an .837 OPS.
Yep.
And this season with Lehigh, he's played second, short, third, and left.
Right.
So I think, I don't know if we'll see Donovan Walton in game, like starting. We could maybe like towards the end of a series, maybe this weekend against Kansas City. But it is an interesting call-up for a 31-year-old journeyman.
Yeah.
So hopefully
maybe he feels like the social role now that Sosa's the starting shortstop.
Correct.
Using that utility guy on the bench that can play a couple different positions and right-handed bat and go from there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people were kind of clamoring for my guy, Aiden.
Which Rob Thompson was asked about pregame.
Just got called up to AAA, deservingly so.
No
Last
doubt.
28 games, slashing
No doubt.
352, 495,
Yeah.
634 with 4 homers and 8 stolen bases. Dude, he has 52 stolen bases this year.
Yeah.
Aiden Miller. We won't see him this year.
I don't think so.
It's an interesting thought. Now, maybe not. If another infielder gets hurt, maybe.
Right.
Possibly.
Yeah, I wouldn't be against it. I just would be surprised. But
Phillies fans and myself may get their wish, but
just promoted to AAA, he's one step away now.
Correct. But I think Edmundo Sosa is on the roster for this exact reason.
Yep.
And I don't know, maybe we'll see Aiden Miller next season. But it is, I as soon as I saw some rumors swirling about that, I was like, can you imagine?
Yeah.
My guy comes up here, puts on a show for the Phillies fans as they wrap up their season. But I don't think we'll see Aiden Miller this season unless another infielder gets hurt. So we'll have to see. Hopefully, knock on wood, that does not happen.
Rob Thompson was asked pregame, would you guys discuss Miller at all? And he said no. Now, he's maybe doesn't want to fully divulge what their plans are or whatever, or what they think of Miller. But he did say no. He was asked point blank, did you guys discuss the possibility of bringing him up? As we mentioned, obviously just promoted to AAA and would make the leap up to the big leagues, but they're going to continue to kind of bring him along. But he's been great, man. And it really hit the switch at the trade deadline. Yeah. Like once maybe he got that peace of mind that he wasn't going anywhere, and he was the player of the month in August in the Eastern League, right?
Yep, exactly.
He's been great. His numbers have been excellent the second half of the season, and it's encouraging. And I don't know if it'll be this year, but I think 26 might be when we see your guy Aiden Miller in the big leagues.
Can't wait. Gage Wood right behind him.
Yeah, we'll have to track like the Aiden Miller, Stephen Kwan. Who's going to contribute more.
Trajectory.
We'll take that for a few more years.
Yeah, we have to.
The 25 deadline.
Be remembered for no Stephen Kwan.
Yes.
And we keep Aiden Miller. All good things. Let's transition to what you brought up earlier, too. Very, very interesting. We'll kind of transition to this game, too, and then we'll recap Sunday's game because I have a thought about Taijuan Walker that we'll get to as well. Bryce leads off. Very interesting, as you said. What was your initial reaction to that? And I have some stats that were put on Twitter that we'll throw out there. But I thought it's interesting. He finished the night 0 for 4 with 2 Ks.
Yeah.
But it is very interesting to see Bryce Harper lead off the first time since October 4th of 2022 that he's led off, which was that hangover game.
Correct. I was just going to say that. After they clinched, they just wanted him to get some at-bats. He went up there and led off. But and it's only the second time. Pardon me. That was one day he did it, and then he did it like another. He had only done it before Monday night, I think, 2 times the last 6 seasons.
Crazy.
So it's been, he did it, I think, in 38 career games going into Monday night. Did it a little bit for the Nationals, here and there for the Phillies, very early, maybe like in 19 for Gabe Kapler. But then it's been very few and far between the last 6 years. And he said openly, I'd rather bat anywhere from 2 to 4. I'm not really a fan of batting 1, which is okay. That's that.
Yep.
So when I saw that lineup today, I was like, oh, wow. And he was asked like, oh, you've said this before. What changed? And he's like, it's something we discussed. Give it a shot. And Rob Thompson said, it's that time of year where everybody's on board. It's just kind of the same conversation about the outfield situation. Like everybody's on board, whatever's best for the team. Bryce is on board. If they think that while Trea's out, him at the top of the order, they obviously like Schwarber. He's been in that 2 hole. They want to keep him there. Bryce is sure. Let's give it a shot. And he said, nothing really changes. You only lead off once in a game in terms of, leading off the game in that first inning. I'm not going to change much. I see a lot of pitches as it is. I don't see the need to really approach anything different. So we'll see. Yeah, 0 for 4, obviously, on Monday. Nola McLean's tough. But yeah, interested to see how it works out this next week or so. And, it makes sense. The guy's still got speed. He can get on. He's got good on-base skills. Gives you pop, obviously, at the top of the order. So it's not like a foreign concept for him to bat leadoff. So interested to see how it goes, but definitely was surprised when I saw it. But I think it says something too. Like if you're the opposing pitcher and Oh God. Like, starting the game, here comes Bryce Harper.
Correct.
And then Kyle Schwarber's on deck. So that's what Topper said that too, Rob Thompson. You want to stack the best guys at the top of the order, and that's kind of what they had with Turner, Schwarber, Harper. So they're kind of just continuing to do that, and now they just need JT was in the 3-hole. Kepler, not always going to be in the cleanup spot, but he was Monday night. Bader was 5th, and Castellanos was 6th. Marshall will be in the middle of the order eventually. He's sick. He's got the flu, which is crazy. It's all adding up. But yeah, I don't know. I like the Harper move. I'm interested to see how it works out, and good for Bryce and everybody involved, giving it a shot. If it's for the best of the team, give it a shot, even though Bryce might not be crazy about it in general. Glad that he's going along with it.
It's a great point that you made too, because that spring training, this past spring training, that was kind of the main talking point. We alluded to it in the last podcast too, that Rob Thompson's lineup was really the main talking point of all offseason. Right. And Bryce in Clearwater said, hey, I'd rather bat 2 through 4. Mm-hmm. But now it's September. You have 2 of your best players on the IL with 20 days left in the regular season. Yeah. I think, like you said, I think it's going to come down to whatever the team needs to do to win the games. Yep. That's fine. So just some stats here. So obviously the Phillies are kind of hoping that Bryce just sees more pitches too. And I think you alluded to that as well. Mm-hmm. It is interesting. So Bryce has seen only 41% strikes in games where he's the third batter and there's no one on.
Interesting. Okay.
So third batter in the inning, there's no one on. He's only seen 41% strikes. Then this great tweet. So the last 3 seasons, the Phillies' first spot, the leadoff spot in the lineup, has seen 1.12 plate appearances with runners in scoring position. The third spot in the lineup has only been up 1.05 times with runners in scoring position. That's 30 fewer times than the leadoff spot. Yeah. Over the last 3 seasons, the leadoff spot has come up in a game tying or go ahead spot for the Phillies 7% more than the 3-hole spot has. So I don't know if there's anything to it. I think it does come down to the traditional way of lineups in baseball, where, hey, your third and fourth guys in the lineup are your top hitters, your power guys, your guys that are going to get on base, drive in runs. I think that traditional way of baseball has kind of slowly gone under the rug a little bit because of the advancement of analytics, whether you like that or not. Yeah. And I think the Phillies, they hired a bunch of analytic guys to do this, to look at these numbers. And I think putting Bryce Harper in the top of the leadoff spot is really interesting. And it didn't work out on Monday, but like you said, if you're starting off the game in the bank in Red October, and the first player you have to see is Bryce Harper, right? Good luck.
Yep, for sure. Yeah,
good luck.
And it's like the Dodgers with Ohtani, like guys that just set the tone. Like, it's obviously not the traditional leadoff hitter, but it's your best hitter. And honestly, too, like, analytics aside, like the simple math of like the leadoff hitter is going to get the most at bats clearly throughout the course of a stretch of however many games. So you want Bryce up there as much as you can get him up there. So that makes sense there. And yeah, it'll be cool. It'll be cool, that Dodgers series next week with Bryce and Ohtani leading off, assuming Bryce is still leading off. But no, it's cool. I like it. I was surprised to see it, but all for it. And hopefully he can set the tone a little bit. And hopefully Kyle gets going a little bit too. He hit a ball hard Sunday, had a big RBI single. He hit a ball hard and won at bat tonight, but he's kind of now we're going on a solid week and a half here since his 4 home run game. So need to get him going a little bit and get him back on track here as the final month of the regular season winds down, because it's definitely this plate. I think he's gone 45, 46 plate appearances, which is a pretty long time
for him
for sure.
Correct.
Yeah. Before in between home runs.
And we were so worried about him breaking the record. Now it's like, Kyle, just get 50.
Yeah, exactly.
Which he will. Yeah. And we've seen when he gets hot, it still won't surprise me if he can get to 58. I mean,
it's tougher now, but yeah, it's
still a possibility.
I thought it was a lock a week ago.
Same. So did I.
It's hard to hit home runs. He makes it look easy.
Correct.
You got to remember, it's hard to hit home runs, especially in the big leagues.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly right. All right, Kaner, shifting gears. What a win for the Eagles on Thursday night. Had a little rain delay. Jalen obviously started his MVP campaign. Just a solid win over those Cowboys, huh?
A win is a win, man. Absolutely. It had a little bit of everything. A little bizarre from start to finish, but they got it done. Hurts was great. The defense stepped up when it needed to later in the game. So big win, man. 1-0 and onward to week 2. Big game, week 2.
Onward to week 2, and it's finally here. We're less than a week away from the Birds takeover in Kansas City. Join NBC Sports Philadelphia and Philly Sports Strips for the ultimate takeover. The Birds will take on the Chiefs on September 14th, but the takeover starts on September 13th. Make sure you get your package now. Scan the QR code if you're watching on YouTube. If not, go to phillysportstrips.com and book now. So let's transition now to a 1-0 win over this division rival. What a performance from Aaron Nola. He probably listened to the pod.
Yeah.
He probably listened to the pod. We knew that this start would have been huge for Aaron Nola, and I think it was his best start that we've seen in quite a while. And especially with the circumstances, with the Mets coming to town, and you go 6 innings, you only allow 3 hits, you strike out 7. The standing ovation that he got coming out of the 6th inning, which shout out to Rob Thompson for sticking with him in that 6th inning. I thought we were sitting in the press box and kind of all held our breath when he came out there for the 6th, because you're facing Lindor, Alonso, Nimmo.
Yes.
In that 6th inning.
Yeah.
And he shuts the door.
Yeah.
What a performance from Aaron Nola. He threw a lot more changeups, which Rob Thompson liked. And he stayed down in the zone, like we mentioned earlier, but he still attacked the zone, and he did it well on Monday night.
Yeah, and first inning has been his big issue these last couple of starts. 3 runs in the first against Atlanta 2 starts ago, 5 runs in the first against Milwaukee in his last outing. You figure, oh boy, here come Lindor, Soto, and Alonso to start the first inning. But yeah, gets out of it. He walks Soto, but no hits in the first inning, no runs in the first inning, and then just kind of picked and choose his spots. And 7 strikeouts, kept the hitters off balance, like you said, and wasn't a whole lot. It was a couple deeper fly balls, but not a whole lot of like loud contact. Yeah, it was the best he's pitched. 94 pitches, 60 strikes, like much better command. Best he's pitched. I think he had 6 shutout innings against the Diamondbacks in early May this year. But I mean, those starts this year have been few and far between. Like by far his best start since that, which is 4 months ago now. And really kind of the best he's looked all year. It's just at the perfect time, obviously, because concern was real. We're looking at the postseason rotation, and I've been counting him out at this point. Like he can't. I think
we all have. Yeah.
But now he pitches like this, and if he can do it again, his next start now will be against the Royals over the weekend, and then he'll get a crack out on the road. And if he can put together a few starts, because I do believe like the Phillies would rather not start 3 left-handers in a playoff series. Like, that's kind of not unheard of, but it's very uncommon. So they'd love to start a righty at some point in the NLDS. But if he doesn't, he doesn't. But they're definitely going to need somebody for a 4th starter if they get to the NLCS. So that spot is coming at some point. And if he can kind of step up and make you feel a little bit more comfortable about giving him the ball in a playoff game, which obviously he's done in the past, and he's pitched generally pretty well in the postseason, that would be huge. So it was really not, because if you would have went out and got rocked again tonight, it's like, okay, like this isn't going to happen.
I was worried.
Against a good lineup, against the Mets, and they needed the win, obviously. So, no, it was good. It was really good to see. I wouldn't say like, oh, he looked like top of his form. He still hasn't gotten back to that like peak Aaron Nola yet, but he certainly made a step in the right direction on Monday night, and would love to see him do it a couple more times in the regular season, and then give you a little more confidence in him being more prominently involved in the postseason. I
think the perfect way to describe it is encouraging.
Yeah, definitely.
Because we said it on the last pod how important this start was, and he came out and delivered.
Yep.
And then, of course, in the locker room, Fartgate.
Yeah.
So I was there
during Nola's scrum.
Wasn't me.
Yeah. No,
it wasn't anybody in the press.
Good.
It was someone in the back left. So they have the screen there blocking, so you couldn't see who it was. I was in the middle of the scrum, and it was loud, dude.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And
you could hear it on TV.
Yeah, and me and Taryn was there, and we both were like, was it fake?
Yeah, Taryn had just asked the question.
Yes.
And he starts answering, then he starts laughing.
Right. Of course, you couldn't. Dude, it was so loud. And it was like, this sounds weird. It was like a perfect fart.
Yeah,
it was a perfect fart. It's just like,
if you're gonna do it.
If you're gonna do it. I don't know who it was. Could have been someone in the bullpen that's kind of there. Area of the locker room. So I don't know who it was. There was rumors that it was Stubbs. Stubbs was not there.
Okay.
Garrett, let's just get that out of the way. Garrett was not there. It wasn't Garrett. So, but yeah, someone in the bullpen. It was loud, and I don't know who it was, but just one of those moments that you got to sit back and laugh. And it was good to see Aaron laugh and kind of smile about it. Offensively now, and real quick too, shout out to the fans. The bank, I mentioned it off the top, but it was loud. It was chilly. I will say, slightly disappointed, strictly because there was a lot of empty seats in the old upper deck, even in the second deck in left field, the upper deck in right field. There's a lot of empty seats. But yeah, I mean, again, no discredit to anybody, because it was still super loud.
Yeah.
Especially, I'm going to keep doing it. We're just going to keep picking that up. Especially in the 9th inning when Jahan Duran shuts it down. It got a little dicey.
Right.
And for whatever reason, we were kind of talking about this after the game when we were waiting for Rob Thompson's availability. It was talked about between everybody that was kind of there of like, how did Ronnie Mauricio not score from first on that ball down the right field line?
Yep.
So then we looked it up. Ronnie Mauricio is actually the second slowest in terms of sprint speed on the Mets behind Pete Alonso.
Wow.
So it was a really interesting decision by
Yeah.
Mendoza to put him as a pinch hitter.
I wouldn't have thought that.
It was insane.
Yeah.
He looked like he was running in quicksand. So the Phillies got lucky there. And then Rob Thompson mentioned that the infield was brought in because the Mets bullpen, he thought, was probably stacked and ready to go. When in terms, they didn't have Kirkering tonight. They didn't have Alvarado on Monday, excuse me.
Right.
So I think the Phillies, they handled it well. And Duran, I mean, Alvarez didn't stand a chance in that last at bat too.
He was just
didn't stand a chance.
flailing away. Yeah.
The first changeup, or was it a curveball or a changeup? I couldn't tell from the press box.
Yeah, it was a breaking ball.
It was 90.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that's all his stuff is crazy. And then he just kept throwing his outside. He couldn't. Yeah, it was
didn't stand a chance.
He was up there hacking, clearly hoping for a fastball, and Duran didn't give him one.
No.
It just looked silly.
Dude, that first so
McNeil at bat was good, but
he was.
Alvarez had no shot.
No chance. And he threw the first one, and I looked right at Tara and I said, throw that again. Because he's not going to have a chance, and he did not. So good to have Duran shut the door. And then how about this? It's a 1-0 win. And who else to bring in really the game-winning RBI than Nick Castellanos?
Yes. It wasn't supposed to be in the lineup today against the righty, but Brandon Marsh, under the weather, gets the start. And that second inning was pretty impressive. I mean, they knock out three straight hits to start the inning. Nick comes through, Bader gets thrown out at second, but Kepler, Bader, Castellanos, they got a hit later in the inning. I think they had 4 hits in that inning, which matched how many hits they got off of McLean that whole start 2 weeks ago.
You made him look human on Monday night here, thank goodness.
Yeah, they only managed 1 run, but they definitely got to him a little bit more, and he certainly didn't have that type of dominant stuff that he had at Citi Field. But yeah, no, that was great. I mean, Nick, obviously, it's a great story. 1 run, he drives it in, good at bat, pokes it the other way. I imagine he'll be in the lineup again against Manaea on Tuesday. Peterson pitches Thursday, so he's going to get some run here in this series after only playing once in his hometown of Miami. So we'll see. The road. I mean, if Marsh is really sick, he sounds like he's really sick. I don't think he's going to be. I mean, he wouldn't probably be in the lineup tomorrow against Manaea anyhow, but he may need a couple days. So lean on Nick and see if he can produce. And best of the team. Everybody's going to keep pulling in the same direction. And Nick's obviously not happy about it, but at least outwardly hasn't made a big deal of it. So credit to him for being ready. He had the triple on Sunday in Miami.
Which of course, again.
Yeah. But no, impressive. Good at bat, drives the run in, and that was turned out to be the only run of the game, and Nick getting it done, and good to see, and hopefully he can continue to make the most of his opportunities.
It was one of those wins too where, yes, it's 1-0. You don't need this offense to score 8 runs.
No.
Especially when the bullpen, I mean, you and I had mentioned it before we started. The nerves, you could tell the nerves set in the 8th inning when Matt Strom comes up. He gets 2 quick outs and then runs into trouble. But thank goodness he gets through it. But there was some nervous tension. But that just goes to show a 1-0 win where this bullpen, where you have Aaron Nola shut the door through 6 strong innings, and then you have David Robertson, who we can't say enough about.
Right.
He continues to do his job and do it well.
Yep.
Then you have Strom and then Duran. It's a 1-0 win over the team that's chasing you in this division. Hats off. You deserve all the praise in the world for this Phillies team after a great 1-0 win. Now, hopefully they can kind of keep it rolling as the rest of the series moves on. But before we move on to the rest of the series, I do want to hit on Sunday really fast.
Mm-hmm.
So the last podcast we did, we both mentioned that there's a possibility that the Phillies could go to a bullpen game in the playoffs.
Yeah,
a lot of comments on YouTube. Again, read those. Appreciate every single one of them. But a lot of comments were like, what are you guys talking about? Why would they go to a bullpen game? What about Taijuan Walker? Well, Sunday showed that.
Yeah.
Why? Trust me, we've said what Taijuan Walker has done this season is astronomically bigger than what we expected coming off the last 2 seasons.
No doubt.
He's performed way more. And again, hats off to him as well. It's been incredible to see kind of the development, or it's not really development, but more or less just the turnaround from the last 2 seasons. But I mean, he allows 4 runs in the first inning against a Marlins team that's a AAA lineup, maybe even a AA lineup. That's why. You just can't afford that in a huge playoff game, especially at home when the stakes are way higher than they are in a regular season game in Miami. Yeah. So, I mean, what are your thoughts? You're still on the train?
You said it. Taijuan has played a valuable role for them this year.
For sure.
to my surprise, last year was just such a lost cause. You didn't realize he's got 2 more years on his deal. How are you going to handle this? And he had his opportunities. He started in the rotation when Ranger was sidelined, and then, moved to the pen, but then comes back for a number of different reasons. Nola goes on the IL. And he's really done a good job. And he bounced back and forth, which isn't easy. And for the most part, for the first 5 months of the season, 4.5, 5 months of the season, he kept them in games and he did his job. But he's been now the Mets series at Citi Field. The Mets start at Citi Field, in Milwaukee now, and now in Florida. He's been pretty poor his last 3 starts. Yeah. And there's no way. And I said this before the Marlins start. Like, I just don't see them going to him in a playoff game.
No,
you just can't.
You just can't.
You can't go to him, and you can't run the risk of him putting you in an early hole. Now, if he's on the roster and he can maybe play some sort of role in the bullpen, if you need a long guy, if you need whatever. But no, I think the chances of him being in the postseason rotation, even before Sunday in Miami, were very remote. And obviously they got even smaller after that outing. And he did a good job Sunday, bearing down, eating some innings.
You had to.
You give up 4 runs in the first inning like that. That's tough. So, no, I do not think he is an option for the postseason rotation. If they're going to have a righty in that postseason rotation, I think it's going to be Nola. I guess there's an outside chance it could be Walker Buehler, but I don't think it's going to be Taiwan.
No, unfortunately not. But you never know. We could see him come in a bullpen scenario. We've seen him do it this season. Yeah, we shall see. And those are all questions that will be answered once the playoffs come around.
You remember, not to interrupt you.
Yeah.
When his first year here, he won 15 games. And he still wasn't in the postseason rotation.
Bingo.
They know.
Yeah.
They know, like, even when it's working, it's in the postseason, it's about stuff. It's about, being able to kind of handle certain lineups and kind of, it's just, I don't think they trust. Clearly, they didn't trust him in his first season when he actually had a decent year. I don't think it's happening now either.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
That's a great point. And that's unfortunate for Ty. And he's been up and back with the bullpen and starting. And he's talked about how frustrating it can be flip-flopping like that because your routine is completely different for both. But yeah, I don't see a scenario where Taijuan Walker is starting a playoff game. But again, hats off to him for this season. He's been great. And they're still going to need him here down the stretch.
Oh, yeah. He'll be making starts the rest of the way.
That he will. Last thing I want to say about the game, too. Harrison Bader has become that guy that every time he's up to bat, I'm like, this is going to be a base hit or
hot,
something.
Man.
Dude. He's the
hot.
Second. So now that Trea's out of the lineup, he now has the highest, I think, batting average on the team in the starting lineup.
Makes sense.
Bohm was batting 280, I believe, before he went down.
Yeah.
And now Harrison Bader.
In September, he's like 10 for 24.
That's
he's
insane,
hitting
dude.
Over 400 in September. And he was hitting well before that. Yeah, we talked about it in our last podcast since they acquired him. He's hitting 330, 340 at this point. So he's been great. Yeah, and I thought there was a chance before Harper leading off. I assumed Schwarber's going to lead off. They put Harper in a 3 spot. Maybe who do they put in that 2 hole?
Dude.
Harrison Bader.
Why wouldn't
right-handed bat, break up the lefties.
Yep.
A little juice in that 2 hole. Thought that might have been a possibility, but they kept him kind of 5th or wherever he's going to bat.
Yeah.
But he's been great, man. Dude. And he had 3 hits, got thrown out on the bases a couple times, but he's hitting well and he's really giving them a spark.
When he took off for second on his first base hit there, I was like, no. But I love that because, dude, even his base hit in the 6th, the 7th, whenever he got the base hit up the middle, dude, the energy that he's bringing, he's just clapping, looking at the guys, he's still clapping and firing up the crowd on first base. It's the energy that this team needed. And he's really been such a great spark for this team. And hopefully he can kind of continue riding that as October is quickly approaching. Expectations now, man, as there's 3 games left in the series. And if they do what they did on Monday, just a gritty 1-0 win, and they can scratch across 2 more wins.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean,
3 out of 4.
You're looking at a 10-game lead with 2 weeks to go?
Yeah. And Ranger's been lights out his last 3 starts. He was great in Milwaukee. He's going tomorrow against Minaya.
Yep.
Significant edge there. Sanchez going on Wednesday.
Minaya scares me, dude.
He pitches well against the Phillies.
He's just their kryptonite.
Yeah. But no, I just think with Ranger, Sanchez, Luzardo now. I thought tonight was the one pitching matchup that could be a little dicey. They get the win. Yeah. I mean, obviously we had talked before, like they sweep this series, the magic number could be down to 5 on Thursday night.
Insane,
it's down to 11 right now. But yeah, you get 3 out of 4, you get that magic number down to 7, and you start to feel pretty good about it. I mean, you're feeling pretty good about it right now.
Right now, you should.
Games with 18 to play.
Correct.
So I think the division is becoming a formality. Anything can happen, but yeah, no, you feel good about the rest of the series. Worst case, you split, you're still up 7, but I think they're going to get 2 of these next 3 at least, and really take a a stranglehold of the division. Then the countdown's on, and you get the division, then you go after the bye, because that Dodgers series is going to be huge in that regard, to try to get that number 2 seed locked up and set yourself up for the best you can in the postseason. But no, feeling good about the rest of the series, to answer your question.
Yeah. Love that. Yeah, and you mentioned it before, that that second seed is huge with Trea Turner's injury news. You give him one more week off.
Yep.
That is massive for this team's success in Red October. It's crazy, man. What a whirlwind of emotions, because a week ago, or when was that? 2 weeks ago, up in Citi Field, it did not feel this good. I thought the division was going to be slipping away, but the Mets have continuously, and they can beat the Phillies at Citi Field all they want, but they did not.
Bad since then.
Correct, and they didn't look great tonight, man. I'll tell you. And hopefully, knock on wood, the rest of the series goes the way that the Phillies wanted to. For the Mets, you mentioned Manaea on Tuesday. They have Clay Holmes against Sanchez on Wednesday, and then Peterson, Luzardo, national TV on Fox. Again, we mentioned it.
Primetime Zeus.
Jesus on the old big
national stage.
Man, I literally we'll have to look that up. I think it's been like 5 or 6 starts.
Oh yeah,
that might be 1 or 2 higher than what it is, but it's been like 2 or 3 Apple TV games. He got the Sunday. He might have got 2 Sunday night games on ESPN.
Yeah.
It's just kind of funny that Jesus is back on the big stage. It's great.
He's been pitching well.
That he can, man.
Yeah.
That he can. And hopefully he can continue his success after a great outing on Saturday for the Phils as well.
Yeah. And he's closing in on his career high innings. And you remember last year, he had numerous injuries. So I think just the fact that he's taking the ball every 5 days for this long, nobody's made more starts on this team than him.
Nobody has more wins than him.
Yeah.
Pitching wise.
He's taking the ball, and he's had his couple rough stretches, as we all know, but generally I think he's been very good. He's coming on strong. Hopefully he finishes strong. And, I think you're going to see him obviously in that postseason rotation in some fashion. And
shout out to Rob Thompson, JT Realmuto, and Bryce Harper. They all sang his praises on Saturday night, just saying how durable that Jesus Luzardo has been this season.
Yep.
And it has been a big factor for this Philly starting rotation now with no Zach Wheeler. And again, we don't know what Aaron Nola will get come October, but if you can have a good Jesus Luzardo who is approaching his maximum, or I guess his career high in innings, not maximum, hopefully not his maximum innings, things bode well for this starting rotation.
No doubt.
To wrap up, we went viral. Which is pretty cool. Just wanted to shout out Tom Feiner and our entire digital team for getting that clip up. Dude, it has 17 million views on
That's
TikTok.
crazy.
It's the most views that we've ever posted.
Talking about the Bader home run ball.
Yeah.
That was unfolded into what it unfolded.
So I went to bed pretty late on Friday night after we wrapped up here. And then Saturday morning, again, you and I have talked about this. I'm like a noon wake up guy during the season.
Late wake up guy. Yeah.
Saturday morning, I try to wake up, watch College Game Day, big college football guy, as we know.
Yeah.
So I woke up and I get a message from someone on our team who posted it. And I was like, oh, wow. Okay. Didn't expect him to post it. Didn't ask him to.
Yeah.
We normally don't post our clips from the pod too often. And to wake up and see it already exploding, it had about 60,000 immediately in the first hour.
Wow.
And then now it has ballooned to 17 million views on TikTok. So shout out to everyone that's watched that clip.
We've cornered the market on home run ball disputes. There's a home run ball dispute. They come here. They want to hear what we have to say about it.
Insane. I mean, that whole night, man, I still can't believe how viral that moment went.
Yeah.
We've said our words about it. We've all moved on.
Yes.
NBC 10 did a great story on the kid and his dad.
Yeah, they've made out all right.
They're doing well.
They got a lot out of that. Good for the kid. I'm glad it ended well for him, and the rough beginning of that whole ordeal, but hang in there. You meet Harrison Bader. You get the bat. Harrison Bader was like on various shows on Monday afternoon talking about it. He was in front of his locker. National people are asking him about it. News people are asking him about it.
Insane.
Yeah, it was crazy. But
our buddy Jack Fritz went on CNN.
Oh yeah.
It's
just crazy that the Phils did a great job with it. The Marlins did a great job with it, and didn't let one bad apple spoil the whole thing, unfortunately. And I'm sure that woman has been, paid her penance for that charade. But
she has.
But anyway, good to see everybody kind of step up and rally around that young guy and his dad, which was cool.
It was really cool, man. Good always comes out on top too.
Yeah.
And shout out to everybody involved, the Phillies, the Marlins, everybody. And I think now we can maybe put that one to bed.
Right.
So, but just had to give it, 17 million views. That's the population of Pennsylvania is 13 million, dude.
Wow.
So
Thinking
about
like
that. That's kind of nuts.
A lot of people.
It's a lot of people.
I'm
just you and I shooting the what.
I'm pretty big on TikTok in general.
Yeah, right.
So
you're a big social media guy in general.
Yes, definitely. So yeah, it was good to see my TikTok following kind of really swarm in and kind of hear what I had to say about the home run ball dispute.
I mean, at this point, we got to make you a TikTok.
Yeah,
we got to get you on TikTok.
Yeah, Jared McCain kind of take some tips from how he kind of does things.
Well, you and I were going to do his dances, right?
Yeah, I think so at one point. Yeah. Jared McCain kind of really opened my eyes to TikTok when they drafted him. I didn't know too much about it. I saw some of his work. Well, I can see myself being pretty big on this platform. Yeah. Good stuff.
That's insane.
Good stuff.
So, hey, keep an eye out. Phillies playoff run. Yeah. Sean and I doing Jared McCain TikTok dances on TikTok. Once we get our guy up and going on the app, we'll figure that one out. But hopefully the Phillies can kind of keep launching this momentum for the rest of the series. Keep packing the bank too. Again, shout out to the Phillies fans. I will say it was a little more empty seats than I thought there would be for a huge series. But again, maybe Tuesday through Thursday here, the bank is filled. But don't discredit it. It was loud in there.
Yeah.
When Stotts play in the 8th inning.
That was a great play.
Didn't even hit on that. But
yeah,
the crowd pop as soon as it hit his glove was playoff-esque. So I think the fans are ready. We're ready.
That time of year,
dude.
A little chilly out. Getting to feel like October.
Get the red towels waving, baby.
Yeah,
let's get them moving.
Yes, sir.
Speaking of moving, we got to get going. It's late. Thanks for listening.
Yep.
We will talk to you guys either Thursday night or Friday. Again, Thursday a national game, so we are both off. However, but we will still talk to you guys to recap. Hopefully, a series win. For the Phillies over the Mets. So hopefully all good things come out of that one. So Sean Kane, I'm Spencer McKercher. Thanks for listening to the Phillies Talk podcast presented by Team Toyota. We'll talk to you guys soon.